The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's David Palmer, the Leo King, and it is February 14th of 2018. Thanks so much for being part of the Leo King Network, and of course, happy Valentine's Day to you. And the reason why I am doing today's show is I really want to talk about humanity. Whether it's the humanity we're talking on a more broader stage, or the humanity of being a human inside and being a human just in general, this is a time to really talk about humanity. Not only is humanity at a very major cross point in our evolution, I guess you could say, but we're at a time in our lives where humanity, I don't want to say it's lost, because I actually believe if we look at the past and we look at history and we actually take a moment and we actually look at how amazing humanity has evolved, how far we truly have come, it's always at the biggest markers to where we make the biggest change that we are the most confused, that we feel like we're at the end of our rope, that we feel like humanity will never come together, whether it's a plague, whether it's a world war, whether it's anything that you want to come from. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I mean, it would have probably sucked being a guy sitting there with a fire and having to go get food every day and not having a stove and a house. I mean, you know, it was probably feeling like, what the heck is going on here, until finally the hut was created. I mean, you got to really start to pat yourself on the back that you are a human that is evolving at such a fast rate that it's okay to feel like, when you look at the world that's surrounding you, that it almost is unimaginable, or that it's somewhat not in a place where you truly are in understanding what's going on. Because, I mean, let's just be real here. There are so many signals, whether it's in astrology, whether it's in old ancient texts, whether it's in literal sacred sites pointing to certain star systems, whether it's the 2012 alignment, whether it's big eclipses happening at big times with major planetary transitions happening at the same time, or whether it's crazy presidents in office. Whatever you want to say, you cannot be in denial to the fact. And the fact is, this is one of the biggest moments for humanity to come towards. We are coming towards 2020, a Jupiter-Saturn cycle, which, in all honesty, which is going to happen in Aquarius, by the way, which it's so funny that we're talking on the eve of a major eclipse, of course, in Aquarius. And so there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Aquarius and humanity and so forth. But what I want to talk to you today is about just the more basic aspects of the humanity part, or the humility. I think that it's so funny that human and humility go together so well, that they start with the same synonyms and they start with the same aspect, because I think it's extremely important to note that humility is part of being a human. And we are not perfect. You know, it's interesting on this Valentine's Day how we want to celebrate love. And love has to be somewhat celebrated in a certain way. It's like, if you didn't get the box of chocolates, if you didn't get the sweetheart candy, if you didn't get the right reservation, if you didn't get the right thing the right way, well, guess what? You didn't love me good enough. You didn't love me the way that I'm supposed to be loved. And that's not the way that I would say, personally. I mean, it might be for you out there. But that's not the way that I've always looked at the way of like not only loving one person individually, whether it's romantic, but loving everyone else. You would never treat that to your best friend that way. You wouldn't do that to your own mother. You wouldn't do that to your own father, unless maybe you were a little crazy. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this subject, but I feel that because we're at such a weird time, because if you actually, well, like, let's just actually have some fun for a second, and let's look at this astrology before we're coming into this kind of major change point. Let's see. I'm going to set the clocks for right now, literally. So if we look at this. The sun's at 26 Aquarius. Look at that Uranian element, the planet that rules Aquarius, at 25. And also, look at this, 25 is where Juno is in Aquarius. And look at this, 24. Do you notice how there's so much aligning around Uranus and Mercury, Uranus and the sun? I mean, these are times of evolution in our environments, change in our environment, trying to understand our environment. And with Juno there, Juno actually deals with relationships in a very odd way. I've always looked at Juno as being more of an asteroid that helps us understand the true partnership that feels like partnership to us, or feels like our yin and yang, or feels like our true divine purpose. And it's interesting right now because, you know, a lot of the energy that's going on with this eclipse and a lot of the energy that's happening on the buildup of this is bringing up the human element so much, dealing with this Uranian element, dealing with all this energy in Aquarius, and how, I'm sorry to say, this is anything but perfect. Like, humanity is anything but perfect. I mean, I don't know one human that can play the game of life and juggle it perfectly. There's no such thing. And to judge people on how they live their lives and how it looks like it should be, and especially as being an astrologer, you know, it's like you got to watch out to make sure that you put out there your own judgments of self, you know, like and judgments of other people and how that they should live or want to live. I think that this is an important time for people to really be okay with the humility of not being perfect, with the humility of realizing that deep down inside, we all have to be humiliated by our own mistakes, by our own crazy adventure that we call life, that life is totally a weird and wild ride. And as Saturn in Capricorn is trying to make things, I guess you could say, as perfect as ever, or organized or together or structured in a way that represents the rules and the laws or the traditions in which it is, this is a new world with new traditions. Why do you think Pluto is in Capricorn? So at the same time that we're trying to live in old traditional paradigms, the universe is asking for us to take these old traditional paradigms and upgrade them to a new system. Just like Windows 95 eventually had to turn into Windows 10, right? I mean, it's like, you know, there's some people out there who still are, it needs to be like Windows 95. You know, it's like, okay, man, relax a little bit. Like, take a little bit of time to process it all. You know, like, take a little bit of time to realize that, you know, yes, there are certain ways life has to be done, but the humility of realizing the only way to upgrade things are by breaking the mold. That's what Aquarius is about. It's about breaking the mold. It's about breaking the traditions. It's about breaking the rules a little bit so we can see what it's like outside of that structure or control systems so much. And it's hard, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, it's like, let's take relationships, for example. Do you really think there's a perfect relationship out there that just goes perfectly smooth all the time? Do you? Unless, I don't know if I come from another planet or something. I thought I was on planet Earth. From my experience and from the way that if you understand the story of Venus, and Venus rules relationships, and Venus is one of the hottest planets, literally, and it's moving around and it does some very interesting things in the sky. Yes, there's a beauty to relationships, but there is also a tumultuous hotness to them, which is why we're so attracted to being in relationships. So I want to say that there is no perfect relationship out there. There is the humility that we all learn, and there is the choice of whether or not we want to continue in them or not, or the choice if we want to leave or not. And that's just the way it is. I think that this time is for us to remember that we have to be understanding of other people and their needs and their wants. Part of Aquarius is about being cool. And when I mean cool, it's not just about what cool shoes you're wearing and what new sunglasses you're wearing. It has to deal a lot deeper than that. It has to deal with learning to be cool with what somebody else feels is their calling in their heart, what makes them happy, and what makes them feel connected in the way that they want to feel connected with. So being uncool is trying to tell people how they should be, how they should play the traditional role, how they should live their life, how they should be, whether that's a couple or an individual. And you know what? There are people out there attacking me right now that are trying to say that about my life. And I look at them and I feel sorry for them. Because the honest truth is this is about learning to be cool. And I'm cool with the retards and the people that want to criticize other people, including myself, my wife, or anybody. I'll be cool with them because I know that they're learning their own humility right now. They're learning their own issues. That's not my place to judge. Sure, I'm the kind of guy that likes to joke about it, but deep down behind that, I guess you could say, cake batter, there is a deeper, more juicier form, and I think all of ourselves, that wants to be cool to people, wants to be cool in understanding of other people. We're never going to make it to the next round of humanity until we learn this most deepest thing, which is we're all on the spaceship together. This is a spaceship. I mean, imagine, and it might take us actually getting on a big spaceship to leave Earth one day for humans to finally go, shit, we had to learn how to get along on the spaceship, but the whole time we were on a nice spaceship that was much nicer than this. And so that's kind of a weird, fucked up thing, huh? It's kind of like, oh my gosh, like, how fucked up is that, huh? I used to love, there was this show called Battlestar Galactica. I was a huge Battlestar Galactica fan. And some of you guys might not even know what this show was. But it was a show about this big war that happened, and everybody had to get on their spaceships and get out of there, okay? There was this dark force that was after to kill humanity and kill the planet to where the humans were on. So they get on this ship, and Battlestar Galactica becomes like one of the last great ships left, full of people, and defending the humans and pushing the aliens away from them the whole time and having to get away from them. And it's seasons and seasons and seasons of this, and I don't want to give away the whole show, but it's so funny that at the end of the show, they have to end up somewhere. And the lessons that they learn through learning how to get along and trusting each other and so forth, get them to a new planet to where they all flourish and live, which is the whole funny part of that show at the end of it, which I think everybody knows, is that they're on Earth, what we know of is now. So no matter what you start to think about the future, whether you want to call it disclosure, whether you want to start to call it, there is a weird higher force that's behind a lot of the things that we don't understand about ourselves and this world. And this is a deep time for you to allow yourself the truth of being a human. You know, vulnerability, compassion for yourself and for others is the ultimate. There is no such thing as I am more spiritual than you. The second you step into that realm, you leave that compassion, you leave that vulnerability. I had a conversation today, some person tried to tell me, like, I've been doing spirituality since 2000 and whatever. I'm like, does that make you any different than whoever's been doing it since 79 or 2017? Or maybe somebody just started their journey yesterday. They're a human just like me or you, and we're all on this journey, and there is nobody better than the other person. And especially when it comes to this spiritual art, whether it's astrology or tarot or psychic work, we all have our own ways of doing it. There is no, right way to do it or not. And sorry to be the one to tell some people out there that, people who accuse people of being a charlatan, it's pretty clear by the numbers and the way that people are touched by people's statements or their videos. It all has to do with whether or not you know how to make somebody feel good and make somebody's life better. And a charlatan knows how to make people's lives worse. A charlatan is somebody that knows how to just talk crap on people. A charlatan is somebody that doesn't know how to make people feel good in their lives, but wants to just make people's lives feel horrible. So there's a lot of that going around lately. Accusing me, accusing a lot of others that I love in this community as a charlatan, when that person themselves is a charlatan. Because unless you know how to send love through a camera, and you actually know how to say it, and you actually know how to breathe it, and you know how to do it without having to even talk about the planets, and know how to speak from your heart and your soul and connect to people, that's not what even a charlatan is, or somebody that is psychic or anything. There's a higher level, which is being a human. Being a psychic, being an astrologer, doesn't make you higher than any other human. Being a human that understands you're a human and is a human to other humans is the highest form of a human you can be. It really doesn't matter what tools you use. It really doesn't matter which titles that you give yourself. The only thing that really, truly matters in this world is how to be a human to other humans. And you know what? We're all going to fuck up. We're all going to screw up. We're all going to have deep emotions that come up that are unpredictable, that are hard to deal with, that we're unsure about having to deal with them. We're all at one minute going to be so convinced that we're going down this road, that this is what we're going to do in our life, that this is the direction we're taking, that this is the relationship we're leaving, this is the job we're leaving, and then waking up the next morning and having a revelation of a change of self, of emotions and feelings. And that's okay. This is a world in which we can be okay with learning to 100% be easy on ourselves by changing our minds about things, to be easier on ourselves when it comes to, let's be honest, like, this is not a perfect world. It's not a perfect place. And it's not set in a way to where we have to live it perfectly. I look at this earth and its imperfection as perfection. I look at humans and its imperfection as perfection. I look at the animals, I look at the trees, I look at nature, and I see the imperfections and its perfection. It's our art of perfection which is causing imperfection, and it's our appreciation of imperfection which brings us to perfection. And you know, this is a hard thing for people in their lives right now, because the way that the media, the world is setting things up around us, it's making us feel like if we aren't living our lives in that certain way of perfect, that there's something wrong. That there's something wrong with us, there's something wrong with the people we surround ourselves by, there's something wrong. And granted, there's boundary lines to these things to where it's like, okay, yeah, that really is wrong, okay? Or that really isn't good for us in our lives. I'm not talking about those rough edges. I'm talking about the simplicity and the beauty of being a human, and the beauty of not being truly and fully understood of what is going on this planet all the time. No matter how great of a channeler one is, no matter how great somebody can see the future in astrology or any divination tools, they still can't see the end result of why we're here, where it's going, and how it's going to be. We can get pretty damn close, though. But this is where God is the factor in all this. And if, you know, I think it's funny, people accusing me of being a charlatan. I think charlatans are the first ones that are afraid to talk about God, in my opinion. Because if you could say God with your strength, your true throat chakra, your heart chakra, and you can own God, and you can love God, and you can say you love God, and you can promote God, and you can put the work of God first in your life, everything goes perfect. Jealousy, dark feelings, all these things move away once you've basked yourself in the love of God. And charlatans don't love God. Charlatans are afraid to speak about God, because God is the only one that knows it all. And the human that knows to give themselves in that almighty power to God is anything but a charlatan, but a true human being living in a deep human experience that is connected to an almighty that knows that God has its own plans. God has its own destiny. God has its own way. And that's super important, especially during these times about being a human, especially during these times about how we deal with life and how we deal with things. We have to give it to God. We have to give it to the higher ups. We have to give it up to the angels. There are moments where we have to just learn to pray, to learn to allow things to be figured out on a higher source. That there is no way for us to handle every problem in our life and fix every problem. That would make us a stress case 24/7. Trust me, I'm already a stress case. I don't need any more problems in my life. Like, thank God I got God to be like, okay, God, take this for me, because I can't. I'm already dealing with a lot. And it's those moments when you go, oh gosh, I'm going to give it to you, God. I'm going to allow you to fix the problems and help me understand this story better and put the pieces the way they're all supposed to lay. And I'm going to sit back and not judge however they're laid and watch this beautiful ride, because I know that when I trust in God 100%, and I trust in that humility of myself and that giving that power away to a divine force of love, guess what happens? Your dreams come true. Your problems go away. And more importantly, you find more love in your life. So on this Valentine's Day, this really isn't about finding love through which restaurant you go to tonight or what gift that you gave. Now, I'm not saying that that is a bad thing to do. I think it is beautiful and some of the most beautiful things on the planet. But if you really want the deepest love, the deepest gift that you can get, It's about knowing that humility of human. It's about knowing that it's not only being the best human you can to other humans, but the best human is the human that knows how to give itself up to God and to have God come in and make the problems and bring the love and bring the things in life that are aligned in positivity, that are aligned in beauty, that are aligned in a higher good for yourself. We sometimes don't know what our highest good is for ourselves. This is why we talk about the light. This is why we connect with the light. This is what makes us be light workers, is we find how to spread light for God, because God is the conduit that bridges us with the power to spread light. Where do we pull our light from? God. Where do we pull our strength from when we're on our down on our knees? God. What bonds and keeps our love and our relationships together? God. Valentine's Day, I think this has been going on for years, has lost its mojo. Just like Christmas has lost its mojo, just like Thanksgiving is losing its mojo. Because when you have Pluto and Capricorn, all traditions get washed down the toilet. And new traditions come out. But during a time like this, it might not mean that we are flushing them down the toilet all the way, but cleaning these traditions off and redoing the way that they are. Finding a new appreciation for these holidays, finding a new appreciation for these times. That maybe Valentine's Day doesn't need to be about where you go anymore, but where you go in your heart, where you go in your soul, where you can find a way to find a bridge between you and other people instead of trying to find divisive and burning bridges in people's lives. I think it's very clear who charlatans are in this world now, by the way, and how they know how to burn bridges. But for those that want to build bridges for others, to help them find it on their own, to bridge life and love in other places, is the ultimate key to unlocking happiness. So, I got to say this. So, tomorrow, I'm doing this awesome show. It's going to be here in Hollywood at Liberate Hollywood. Don't miss it. We have over 100 RSVPs, and it's pretty much almost sold out, it looks like, but we're going to try and pack as many people as we can in there. We're going to have the full-blown experience. I'm going to be doing spiritual dance music, a live crystal ceremony, a new moon ceremony, a talk, and then we're also going to be doing a step and repeat at the beginning, hanging out with me live. It's in a whole entire huge spiritual center that was just built in Hollywood. If you're in the area and you miss it, I get it, but you would be missing out on something amazing. So tickets for there at liberatehollywood.com if you want to meet us there, or they're $30 at the door. We also are doing this live stream for $29.99. It's going to be fully like how I do these shows. We're bringing all the studio equipment. We're bringing a full stage. You're not going to want to miss this. This is going to be the biggest spiritual dance music I've ever done before live with cameras for you to be there, and we'll be streaming this. So you're going to want to get a ticket to purchase that. That's at theleoking.com. Click on events. And of course, Future Life TV has now launched. So go to futurelife.tv if you want to watch my daily video horoscopes. My daily is a totally different beast. I dissect the planets. But where I'm going with this channel and in the next 2 weeks, as I'm going to be starting a daily live show, it's going to be called High Vibe TV, which that network is going to be about inspiring you with talks like this every day, having different segments, talking about a news story every day, and bringing positivity and bridging the gap between negative energy and positive energy that we aren't seeing in the media right now, and bringing a daily show that you can watch for free on the internet that will literally be about positivity. Now, I just did a live video yesterday about the new Facebook algorithm. And there's a minor way we found how to fix this out. So of course, if you're watching right now, you're probably watching on my Facebook, and I'm also streaming to my YouTube. But we actually are going to start streaming to the Leo King Astrology group. Based off what I have talked with people that are in the industry, the way for us to hit everybody to watch and for you to be notified fully is to be part of the Leo King Astrology group. We already have over 15,000 people in this group talking about spirituality and astrology and positive energy. It's a closed group, which means you can look up on Facebook, type in the Leo King Astrology and ask to add yourself. I'm asking for people to join this group in order for me to start doing these live shows so you can actually watch them. Because if you look at the numbers from what I was doing in the last 2 months and look up all the things that just came out and what Facebook started on Monday with their new Facebook algorithm, it will be hard to watch all these networks and shows that I'm going to try and bring you all. So if you could please join the Leo King Astrology group on my Facebook, I'd truly appreciate it. I'm sending you all my best on this Valentine's Day. I hope that this message really hit you home. And I hope that you join me tomorrow night, whether it's in person or on the live stream, for Liberate Hollywood, where I'm going to be talking about this solar eclipse, and we're going to be doing it live together, and how it's all about bringing us into 2018. We also are getting ready for a big Chinese New Year, and we're getting ready to understand where in the hell this story is going next. Thanks so much for all your support. I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hi, Grandma. How are you? Oh, I'm doing good. No, I'm eating really healthy right now in my life. Lots and lots of vegetables. Yeah, and potatoes too. You know, they're vegetables, aren't they? Yeah. No, I'm eating healthy. I feel really good. Yeah, I'm in shape too. Oh, my relationship, Grandma? Oh, it's going great. We're really connected right now. No, I mean, the love's there. She's no, lots of attention. We really have really interesting conversations too. No, yeah, don't worry about me, Grandma. It's going good. Oh, my dreams. You know, you don't have to worry about my dreams. They're always coming true. Yeah, financially, everything's going good. I've got everything I want, the job I want. Yeah, everything's going good there. Future life? What's that, Grandma? I know, I'll follow your advice. What is it? It's a new app? I'll check it out. Future life.
Future life. Wake up to your future like you've never seen before.